Hi guys, okay, it's Michelle again, and today I'm gonna be sharing with you guys my coming out story, my testimony on how I became a Christian, and not a lukewarm Christian, but full on in love with God, on fire for God. And yeah, so I'm gonna be looking down at my notes right here. So just bear with me if I stumble over my words and stuff like that. I got a lot here. So my first point was, okay, so throughout middle school, I would say I had really bad self-esteem, and I was very insecure about my body and stuff like that. And also when I was younger, I was also very insecure about my skin color. Like, I hated my skin. I wanted to be light skinned. And also I had really bad body issues. Like, I was very insecure about my body type and stuff like that. Like, a lot of times I feel like people only, like, guys will only want to talk to me because of how I look. I'll be like 14 and old men will be talking to me. It was so weird. So yeah, I had a lot of body issues throughout middle school that led to like depression, low self-esteem, and also being insecure. So like for a long time I was depressed and very sad. Like, I just hated my body. Like, oh my gosh, it was terrible. Like, every day I'd be like, I wish I looked like her, like just compare myself. So that happened. That was like all throughout middle school and a little bit in high school too. So then after that, in 8th grade, I was just introduced to smoking weed. So yeah, the first time I smoked actually was like when I was 13. So I probably was like in 7th grade, I think. I was like in 7th grade when the first time I smoked weed. And then I became more acquainted with it throughout high school because me and my friends, that's all I really would do with my friends and my cousins. Like, we would just smoke. I smoked all the time. We would use it as like a social type of thing. Like, if we were hanging out, oh, let's smoke. Like, that's what we just do. So then I got into my first relationship when I was about 15, 16, like 10th grade. And in that relationship, I formed a soul tie. And there's a couple ways you can form a soul tie, but the way that I had a soul tie was through premarital sex and fornicating. So I had formed a soul tie, and in that relationship, it became very toxic. Like, me and my ex would fuss and argue every day, all the time. So that kind of caused a lot of stress on me. Like I don't know, when I was in this relationship, I was kind of acting like I was married. I don't know how to explain. The roles of a wife, that's what I was trying to be. Like, I was trying to play wife, and I was only like 15, 16 years old, and I barely even knew myself. So yeah, so I was going through, I had a soul tie, and I was in a relationship for about 2 years, and there was a lot of drama and stuff around that too. So also I started to get into witchcraft with zodiac signs and tarot card readings. So yeah, it's just a whole bunch of new age stuff, but basically, like, I was really into it. Like, the signs and like, oh, what's your zodiac sign? Oh girl, I'm a Sag, you know, stuff like that. Like, honestly, that's witchcraft. And like, it will even go as far as to, oh, I'm not gonna talk to you because you're a Taurus. I don't mess with Taurus. I don't like Taurus. Stuff like that. Like, it was kind of, that's very toxic, and that's also the attacks of the enemy, because why wouldn't you talk to somebody based on their sign? Not everybody is the same, even though they try to say like your sign determines your personality. That's not true at all. That stuff is actually probably false. I'm pretty sure it's false. It's false, and it's not really true at all. So after that, I broke up. So a little bit later, I broke up with my boyfriend. And this is when things really started to go downhill for me. So this was about 11th grade. I broke up with my ex, and that's when I started drinking heavily. I started smoking every single day after school. Even I would go to school high. I would smoke after school. I would smoke before work. I was just smoking all the time, like every day, every single day. And I also started going out more. Like now I would start attending, like before I never would go to parties, but like now I would start going to parties and like kickbacks and stuff on the weekend, and just, you know, always going out. And even one time I was smoking with a friend on like a weekday and in my car, and I actually got pulled over by the police. Yeah, guys, I got pulled over and they had to search through my whole car. I had to stand the whole time they were searching my car. I had to stand out in the rain. So yeah, they were searching through my car. It was just so scary. Like, oh my God, I thought my life was over. I was like, I'm going to jail. It's over. Like, I'm not going to college. Nothing. I'm done. It's done for me. Like, I'm gonna go to jail for weed. But to God be the glory. They didn't arrest us and they just gave us a warning. They let us go home. But yeah, it was really bad, guys. Like, it was so scary. Like, if you ever got pulled over by the police for like drugs or whatever, it is really scary. It was really scary. So as I was going through that whole hard time period, I was like talking to other boys and like different relationships like that. But one thing that happened was I linked up with my ex again, and we went on like this date or whatever. And, you know, kind of like closure, but I don't know. Anyways, we fornicated after our date, and our date was at the movies, and we fornicated, which led to me having unprotected sex. And one thing led to another, and I had to take a plan B because, yeah. So from that, I thought I was probably pregnant because of like the circumstances of this intercourse. So at that point, I was like really, really like done with life. Like, at this point, I lost my job. I thought I was pregnant. I was getting pulled over by the police. Like, my life, I just felt like my life was going downhill. Like, I was going through a lot of emotions. I was depressed because I felt like I didn't have anybody. I felt like everybody that I loved or like cared about didn't care about me. I felt like I was alone. Like, it was a lot. And I remember one night, I was just crying and crying in my bed because, like, honestly, I was really going through it. Like, I just could not anymore. I was just crying in my bed, just crying. And I ended up praying. I was praying to God. This was like, I think it was like 5 in the afternoon. I was just praying and crying to God, like, God, save me from this. Like, I don't want to be in this position anymore. I don't want to have this life anymore. I'm done. Like, I don't want this. Like, I don't like my life. I hate this life. Like, I hate everything about this. I can be pregnant. I'm not going to college anymore. It was just so much. Like, I was just telling God about everything. Like, God, why are you putting me through this? Like, why is this happening to me? Why? And then at that moment, God was like, I don't know. He just spoke to me and he was like, go get a Bible. Go get a Bible and read it. Go get a Bible and read it, y'all. Like, just out of nowhere, I was just like, what? Am I hearing this right? Like, should I go get a Bible? Like, I'm crying. Like, you want me to go downstairs and get a Bible? I'm crying. My family's downstairs. Like, I don't know. But I was just like, yo, I don't have nothing else to lose. Like, at this point, I'm just gonna get this Bible. So I went downstairs and I got a Bible, and it was actually a family Bible. This is the only Bible I could find at the moment. And it was a family Bible, and this is actually the Bible. I have the Bible right here. This is the Bible that I picked up. Anyway, so oops. So when I picked up the Bible, the first thing that I turned to, like, when I opened the Bible, I wasn't looking for anything. I was just like, God, I don't even know where I'm supposed to be reading at. So what I did was I just opened my Bible, like just open it right up. And the passage that God sent me to was Psalms 23. So now I'm gonna read to you guys Psalms 23, because this is the scripture that saved my life. And it reads, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the path of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever." So after that, guys, the part that really like just sold me, and I was just like bawling when I read "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me." Guys, that's what it felt like. I felt like I was just going through so much, a shadow of darkness, like just a cloud of darkness was just following me everywhere I went. Like my life was just felt like darkness. That's all, like that's the best way I can explain it. Just darkness everywhere. But when I read that and it said that "for thou art with me," that's when I knew that at the end of the day, God is the only one that is going to comfort me. God is the only one who's going to pick me up when I'm down. God is the only one who will love me unconditionally. There's no conditions to my love, to our love. God is the only one who will take care of me and be with me all the days of my life. And that it just, at that moment, that's what I needed. I needed comfort. And that's what I got from that. I got comfort from just hearing that, because I didn't have anybody, guys. I'm telling you, like, I feel like I didn't have anybody. I couldn't talk to my parents about half this stuff. Like, nothing. I was just alone. I was just alone. So this is my story of how I came to Jesus. Like, yeah, when I first did that, it's not like my life just changed overnight. That didn't happen at all. Like, it was a long process, but over the couple of months, I grew closer to him. I started reading his word more. I started writing in my journal to him more, and just praying to him and just form a relationship with him. And if you guys want to learn how to form a relationship with God, you can just watch the video that I posted on how I form my relationship with God. And I hope that helps you guys. But yeah, this is my story. Thank you guys for watching. I hope it inspires and encourages you guys to also come to Jesus, because at the end of the day, he's the only one that will never leave you nor forsake you. These friends, even family, they're not always going to be there. But Jesus, he always is. Bye-bye.